So it's going to be weird to figure out because there's no like one day suddenly everything is fine. Like
Yeah.
we're going to have
No,
a lot of time in an in-between space of like we can go places, but will town boards be meeting? Will they be accepting audiences? Like
they are. So all the town government is doing everything through Zoom conference. So originally they were doing their meetings at our place and then using like our Uber conference system to bring people in. And then with everything just escalating, they just went to total Zoom conferences. So basically all we do is just pull a feed from a Zoom conference and we air it. So it's made for interesting times for sure. Some of the issue, like other media centers are doing the same thing, and like they're having issues with their government meetings being Zoom bombed.
oh god.
Oh yeah. My classes have had that.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Like they figured out how to like open the whiteboard before my professor had. So when they opened it, there was like I forget, but it was just like not good.
Something
And
not good.
yeah, my professor couldn't figure out how to erase it. So she just continued with like something either profane or like bad.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's been an issue across the state of like government meetings being Zoom bombed by various things. It's like great. We haven't had that yet. Luckily, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Are we setting passwords now in Marshfield?
I don't know because it's a government meeting. So you have to, I guess in a way you have to make it open to the public.
Yeah.
So
Okay, just open meeting law.
yeah. So enough about me and what we're doing here. How are you guys doing? How are you guys holding up now that I have all four of you?
I love it. It's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, I actually really like the quarantine. I don't have to like. I always feel like obligated to go hang out with people whenever they ask, and now I'm like, oh, I'm quarantining.
Nice to have an excuse, but it's also so boring. And
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you're more used to working from home than we are, because you like have a recording set up at your house.
Yeah, I have something to do, I guess.
So this is like nothing new for you. You don't really have to adjust your schedule.
Not really. No.
Pretty good. So when did you guys all get like sent home? Were you guys like on spring break or how did that work out?
I was in Florida when we got the email that like classes would be online, but like at that point we were still going back to school and it was going to be online.
Mhm.
And then we got home and they were like, just kidding, come get all your stuff. We're going back.
I was just gonna ask, was it like literally like, all right, we're closing down, you have to move out?
Yeah.
Oh, it stinks.
But they were, some people didn't get their stuff from Quinnipiac. And then they just sent us an email yesterday. They were like, we're going to start packing up people's rooms if you didn't get your stuff.
That's going to lead to some really awkward moments and conversations for sure, especially trying to pack up college kids' dorm rooms.
Yeah.
Yikes. So you guys have been online learning. How's that been? He's shaking his head.
Not good.
Like
sign language, and it's very, very hard over Zoom.
Yeah, because there's got to be some things like some classes where you can do kind of online learning, but like there's other aspects of like you need maybe like physical sort of parts, like where say if you're like in a science field or something like that, like there's a lab aspect or
I've
TV production.
Like clinicals, they're online and it's so silly. Like my friends were showing me and they like they're like check on patient. Lock hands.
I've heard that people are just watching, like instead of doing chemistry labs, they just have to like watch the professor do it slowly and take a lot of notes.
That is awful.
That sounds terrible. Like it's especially because there's so many type of hands-on sort of education.
Yeah.
You know, like in the field type learning. Like another thing was like you guys are all sophomores. Like some of you probably want to do internships. We're going to do internships. Like, how does that change for you guys now?
Well, I was going to go to Spain over the summer to do a study abroad, and that's not happening. I have no idea what I'm doing now, but
friend doing an internship, and it was supposed to be in New York, and now it's just online.
What was it supposed to be?
It was something for business. I don't know exactly, but she was so excited to like be in New York and live in New York for the summer, and now just
So like it totally has screwed up like your second semester, totally has screwed up your summer, and probably in some ways has screwed up your education for junior.
Yeah.
Definitely throws like some schedule things off. But
Right.
I do feel like of all the semesters in college, sophomore spring is one of the more expendable. Because like you need freshman year to meet people and start making friends, and like junior and senior year are very like setting up for jobs focused.
Yeah.
So, like,
Mhm.
it definitely isn't helpful to have a massive disruption to everything.
But like,
Yeah.
it's better that we're sophomores when it happened.
Yeah, you guys aren't seniors where you're graduating, or
Oh.
going up. Like I would hate to be a senior right now.
So bad for my friends that are seniors.
We had the fact that we were leaving was announced on a Tuesday, and that we had to be out by a Sunday. This was 31 days ago. I have a little like tally whiteboard thing, but it was also interesting to watch like how news just spreads. Where like from Tuesday to about Thursday, like it was just pure chaos on campus because senior week was now, I guess. And then after like Thursday, Friday, like everyone was just sort of like realizing the gravity of the virus, was just like
Ugh.
sort of sadly hanging out in their rooms, not wanting to go anywhere.
Yeah. So one of the things I always, when I went to college many years ago, was like the adjustment of like, there was always an adjustment of like going back home and like living at home. How's that been like?
I can't.
Because you're so used to being like on your own schedule in college, doing your own thing. And then you're kind of back under your parents' rule and domain.
yeah, I definitely feel like I'm still in high school again.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've just backtracked 1,000%, which
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I'm just acting like the same. Like I just have the same schedule that I would have like in like the summer of. It just feels like the summer of high school for me because I didn't really do much in the summer, and I would just like live at home. So it just reminds me of that.
Makes sense.
I just feel like at school, like my parents like didn't know what I would do, obviously, but they didn't know what classes I was taking. Like I have like 6:30 to 9:10 classes like 2 times a week. And then they'll be like, oh, it's dinner. And I'm like, I've been in class for 2 hours. Like, hey.
Yeah.
I have my parents are used to my class schedule by now, but they will still like come walk around the corner and peek in, and sometimes walk and lean in the video, like more or less every day.
So it's like it's an adjustment for you and it's an adjustment for your parents, basically being like, all right, I have a child who's going to college at home online.
It is hard to, or like I feel like even though it's only been like almost 2 years now, like I feel like I'm still so rewired to like when I'm home, I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get anything done here.
Because it's like it's like you're working from home.
Yeah.
Now, are all your parents basically working from home too, or?
My mom's still going into the hospital. She's a nurse.
Oh yeah, your mom's a nurse. I forgot about that. So she must be like just you guys like staying away from her.
Yeah. Like she doesn't like talk to any of us when she comes home. She like takes everything off in our garage and then like showers and then we're allowed to speak to her.
Yeah, my brother's works in the ER at Mass General, and we did an interview with him last week, and it was very similar in regard to his like, I go home, I have to like change clothes 3 times, shower. I basically he changes clothes like in his sunroom and just leaves them there and washes them afterwards.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. So it's like you're working from home, but also like your parents are working from home too.
My mom works at Pembroke Hospital, so she's still every day. So it's basically just me here.
Essential employees.
I love that Duncan is essential.
I know.
It's like a reflection of Massachusetts.
And the Patriots are now flying in medical supplies is where we've ended up.
Yeah, it's really interesting, like what's essential, what's not essential. Like if you go around town and see what's open and what's not open, and You know, and then you have to, like, if you go to the supermarket, and it's just bizarre world going into the supermarket nowadays.
I mean, I haven't been like I think that I've had one time where I've left the radius between like my house and Roach Brothers in a month.
The weirdest one I've encountered so far is going to Trader Joe's in Hanover. I went there like maybe not this past weekend, the weekend before, and it was like I was basically, they had like the line set up, and I was basically standing at Petco because you had to keep 6 feet apart,
Yeah.
and they only let X amount of people into the supermarket, into Trader Joe's. So, what else are you guys doing with your time now that you have all this free time?
I'm wasting it mostly.
I've been going on a lot of walks just to fill
Just
the
getting
time.
interrupted by my mom every time I'm in class. It's so fun. And right now.
Hmm?
I've been going on a lot of walks too.
I've also been playing Animal Crossing. I don't know if anybody else
I'm
has.
so jealous.
It's so fun. It's so great.
Any new TV shows or programs?
Supernatural.
Tiger King?
Like 3 times.
Hmm?
Tiger King. I watched.
Oh,
I love that.
So good.
has
You guys
everyone?
ever decided to start watching The West Wing together like 4 years ago, maybe? But it's 7 like 22 episode seasons.
Yeah,
so you
it's
just finished
nuts.
it.
We gotta talk. Who else has seen Tiger King?
Me. My cat.
Give me your thoughts, because we watched it all like last week, and then we just watched the new episode last night.
There's a new episode?
Yes, there is.
What?
It's not. It's almost like an after show sort of thing where it's Joel McHale, and he interviews a bunch of people that were on the show, like via like a video conference. So he interviews the guy with no legs, the other head zookeeper there. He interviews Jeff and his wife, and he interviews Joe's campaign manager, who's one of the greatest characters ever.
I know.
So who else? And he interviews the guy Rick, who was the TV producer.
Not Carol.
No, of course Carol was not going to be on that. So did Carol Baskin kill her husband?
Yes. 100%.
I've seen that she's like getting back into the news now to like, I don't know, like dispute the way she was depicted in the show, which
Yeah, because
obviously
she was exposed for being a cold-blooded murderer who probably fed her first husband to the tigers.
I just thought it was weird when they were talking about how like Joe got like kind of like mauled by his tigers a little bit.
Mhm.
She's like, somebody probably put sardine oil, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why is that where your mind automatically went?
Yeah.
Mm.
who the hell owns
Oh, you know,
sardine oil except for tiger murder purposes?
Yeah.
Oh, you know who else was on the new one is the his ex-husband, the guy that had like meth teeth.
Oh,
It was always that did all his interviews shirtless.
oh yeah.
Yes, he's in this new episode.
He got his tattoo covered up, and I was like,
I won't give everything away, but he does talk about that.
oh,
Those
And-
people don't seem real. Like they seem like made up characters.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. I mean, it's middle America, and 2, it's people that are obsessed with large animals like big cats. So they have to be quite a bit different.
And like Doc Antle's just out there with like a cult.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's clearly a cult leader for sure.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it, but it still amazes me that like, periodically people get mauled by the tigers working on staff, and like first responders have to show up to take them to the hospital because they've just like lost a limb.
Oh,
They don't look around and say, oh, none of this should be happening. They're like, well, you guys are all well within your rights to have a bunch of tigers in your backyard.
Yeah.
Oh,
This guy's gotta go.
Speaking of the man woman, I think he identifies as a man now. The one that was missing an arm or half an arm due to the tiger. He's on the new show.
Does he talk about how he was misgendered in it? Because I read about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, a little bit.
Dang.
A little bit.
Because they just gave him feminine pronouns the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was weird. Like every actual like physical person in the show pretty much does the pronouns correctly, but then just like the narrators fucking up.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. I think it was probably maybe done at it's I don't watch a lot of TV, but that show I was just sucked in immediately.
Really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
due to the bizarreness of every character
Yeah.
in Joe's music videos.
Oh my god.
Did you hear that? That's not actually him singing.
It's it's not his voice.
That's
I'm
insane.
so mad about that.
I was so surprised that was it Travis that ended up killing himself?
Yeah.
On
Okay, I
the
don't
date.
understand if he did that intentionally or if it was an accident. Because he said that he had like the
I'll just say watch the new one.
I can't believe
It's brought up. It's brought up by Josh, the campaign manager.
I don't. He had to see it. Like,
Yeah.
Just watch the new episode. I don't want to give it away,
okay.
but that is discussed. It's
The
Yeah.
memes that have come out of it.
Hmm?
The memes that have come from it.
Oh my god, it's game changing.
Literally.
It is. It's it's unbelievable. It's made my self quarantining, it's somewhat enjoyable at night.
Yeah.
Because it gets really quiet around here. It gets really quiet at home. I'm surprised the dog hasn't barged into my door yet. My dog's really good at barging in during video conferences.
Yeah.
So like all of a sudden you just hear like a thud on the door and she just barges in.
It's like the kids walking into the BBC interview thing.
Yes. So anything else interesting during this time period? Fahey, you got a new album coming out?
Yeah.
I dropped a new single yesterday. It just went up on Spotify this morning too.
Oh,
So that's exciting.
Where can we find it?
You can find it Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Napster, Tidal, all that stuff.
Wow.
Napster.
I guess that's a streaming service.
Here's
but,
me down.
is it still around?
I think
Is it?
Because I mean, Napster used to just pirate music, right?
Yeah, that was around when I was in high school. That came out in 1998, 1999 when I was a
Oh, I guess
kid.
it's still around. I wonder if they've had a resurgence.
you can find me on LimeWire.
Oh,
Bearshare, Kazaa.
Napster has like a redone website and things. Huh, I guess maybe they
Yeah.
rebranded it because it was
But
the guy who started it was played by I think Justin Timberlake in The Social Network, and that's most of what I know about Napster.
Another Bostonian.
we got Justin Timberlake was in The Social Network.
So when's the album coming out?
We're trying for April 17th, so like 3 days from now.
Wow.
Wow, so it's this burn the midnight oil source scenario where you're trying to get done?
Honestly, it was for a little bit, but I kind of put in my panic time early.
Or is this one of those like rap beefs or music beefs where it's like your arch nemesis has an album coming out the same day or the day before or day afterwards, so you're trying to get ahead of them?
Unfortunately, I do not have a nemesis right now.
Unfortunately, my life is fine.
There's a lot of stories in music of various bands pushing singles around and whatnot because their arch nemesis decides to release a single.
Not this time around, but I'll make sure to have a nemesis for next time.
Okay, all right.
So
Stunt too.
Hmm?
That'll be a good publicity stunt too if you like.
Yeah, you need a good beef.
Yeah.
Like a Biggie Tupac beef or something like that. East Coast, West Coast.
yeah, Murderfield beef is going to be insane.
You find like a rapper from Duxbury you can beef with.
I'm beefing with Surfliner next.
Jeez, I have to see. This is being recorded. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to check multiple emails at once. All right, well, it was lovely talking to you all today. I hope you guys are doing well. And silence comes up.
Doing all right.
All right.
I think is the general.
Doing fine.
All right. We'll stay in touch. The rest of the staff says hello.
Hey.
Some staff.
Yeah. Well, hopefully one of them will edit this and make it nice and pretty.
Cut out me cursing a little bit.
Hmm?
Tone
Yeah,
down.
Chris, you're driving some profanity. This is not the polished Chris Campbell we all know and love.
Oh my gosh. You should have seen the New Year's party with this kid.
I know those Snapchats I saw. I was like,
Oh, I don't know that I saw all of those.
All right. Well, hold the fort here. All right. So what's the deal here?
Chris is
On New Year's, I was like, I don't know if I have anything to do. And John was like, you're coming with me. And I said, all right.
Oh, and so there's photo documentation of this?
There's some documentation.
Oh, no.
I remember walking into the kitchen. Chris is in the corner with his head like to a door.
Yeah, I do remember this.
I'm picking it up with like a paper towel. It's very uniform throw up. Thank you for that, because I didn't want to have like mushy paper towel. It was pretty solid.
Oh my
Just
god.
like
I have my affairs in order.
It's all right. We've all had one of those nights on New Year. I have my two best friends from college who no longer speak to each other because of a New Year's Eve incident, which is really awkward because I was the best man at each of their weddings.
Going through your stories that you can read at a toast, and you're like, well, I can't mention half of these because the other person's involved.
Well, actually, I did actually. No, I still had good stories to tell at the best man speeches. One of them involved the two of us being asked if we were a couple at a restaurant one time, which led to a really awkward moment. And the other one's like my best friend. He's like a brother to me, so it was just really just roasting him for 10 minutes. So, yeah. Now that we got completely off track about Chris's hanging out with Faye on New Year's Eve.
Oh, one more thing about that night. There were peanuts involved, and it was really funny.
There was what?
There were peanuts involved.
Aren't you guys both?
Yeah, as I say, you guys had peanut allergies?
Yes. So I'm making mozzarella sticks in the other room, and
am I asleep by this point?
You are unconscious. I wouldn't call it sleep, but so Marcella is in the room where the ball dropped and there were all the snacks. He grabs a handful of peanuts. He's like, "Where's Jean-Faye?" He's running around. He's like, "Where's Jean-Faye? I got a handful of peanuts." He's like, "Oh, what's up, Chris?" Keeps running around, forgetting he's gonna. I heard him. I just thought he wanted my mozzarella sticks. I didn't know he had peanuts until like the day after. And he was like, I was gonna throw him at Chris, but like, good thing I didn't. I didn't even know he was allergic to peanuts.
So throwing peanuts to someone who has a peanut allergy is automatically going to kill them.
Damn close to it.
I mean, I feel like if it stayed like on, if it didn't go in my mouth, I think I'd just get a rash. If I actually like am eating it, I'm gonna be dead.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a high possibility of that. I don't think you'd die if you got hit by a peanut in the head or something like that.
It's just like
Be a little itchy.
So as we just destroyed Chris's future political career right here.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
I feel like Chris had fun in college once. It's humanizing.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it shows you as long as you're not like sniffing people's hair or saying anything derogatory like the current commander-in-chief on a daily basis. I think you're safe. And the bar's been set pretty low. And you haven't pulled a Ralph Northam, or so we hope, as in the governor of Virginia.
Ralph Northam, or what, the lieutenant governor, and Justin Trudeau, and so there's a long list of the same mistakes.
Or what was it, Andrew Gillum, who was found in a hotel room with meth? So you'll be safe, Chris. Hopefully, we can edit that out. But anywho, good chatting with you all, and we'll hopefully talk again soon at some point, or I'll send Sean or Jen to do this.
Yeah.
All right, later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.